All right, thank you for staying with us. Nigerians are anticipating a time when they would be free to sleep in their houses, walk on the streets without fear of kidnappings, robberies, and even deaths. With the new Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, he says inventing new policing strategies would help to tackle the menace of crime and criminality and achieve operational success and reignite public trust. One of his strategies include establishing a specialized quick intervention squad comprising of combat-ready mobile police personnel who will be trained to de-escalate crisis and violent crime. He also urged Nigerians to collaborate with the police so as to ensure they can go about their lawful businesses without fear of insecurity or molestation. Well, joining us in the studio is a public affairs analyst, Oladeyinde Areyo. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast.
Good to see you again.
Same here, my brother. Thank you for having me.
Right. Let's begin with the strategy. The Inspector General of Police, when he came in, he said that he felt like a lion, he felt like a tiger, and all of that. And now he's saying that he's ready to hit the ground running, and he's coming up with certain strategies. And I'm wondering what you make of the strategies that he has come together, he has put up to ensure that we address the security situation. We know the peculiarities of our security situation. We know that in various regions, we have various peculiarities. But with this strategy on the ground, how do you see it or see them impacting or de-escalating the security situation in the country?
Thank you very much. So far, it's given us sound bites that you can connect with, that you can analyze, you can examine, and you can make sense out of a lot of them. One of the things I learned growing up very early was that a new broom sweeps better. So you expect to see all of these flashes, which are indicative of his readiness to deliver, add value, and of course, reduce, as you said, de-escalate insecurity. We've had it so terribly bad. Nobody's going to deny that. But one area that I will want him to pay attention to is the retraining and training of the workforce. I regularly have encounter with policemen, and I can tell you that seated here, I can mention 2 or 3 officers who, if they ask me to recommend for promotion, I would say they did very well. There's a Wilson Ebame in the CP's office here in Lagos, and Emeka Umeozo, fantastic guys. I can also tell you several others who I've encountered, and then they left me with terrible impressions. So it's important that they are made to understand that policing is not just about harassing people or showing that your uniform has conferred some measure of power and authority on you, but in delivering value, making people comfortable with you to start with. There was a poster, they said, if you don't like the police, go to the armed robber. That had to come up because there was a loss of confidence between the police and the people. So there's a need for what I call repurchase of that confidence. One of the things to read, that people should cooperate with the police and offer information. I have been writing IGs since Musiliu Smith was IG. I've been writing. I wrote Amabalogun. I wrote Tujie Hindero, who was my senior in secondary school.
Did you get any response?
The only one that invited me was Amabalogun. That was when I met Arasi Solomon, who was his PSO. And then we had useful conversation. I went at my cost, but I was invited. And I'm going to still write the current.
So the suggestion you made at the time, was it acted upon?
Not really. Why? Because unfortunately, demand didn't end well. So perhaps that was why you couldn't have been able to, utilize those things. From this point, from outside of the force, a lot of us can see what are not in place, deficiencies, But when you now say, let's look at these things, it pays for them to listen. The last time I also wrote, if I can remember, I met one guy, Fimiho Adeoye, who later became CP in Oyo State. Those are brilliant human beings in the system. I don't now understand how they were not utilized, whereby they can deliver value. The police force has qualified manpower, men who are well educated, master's degree holders, lawyers, name them. But we need to move away from this ethnic orientation in promoting or in appointing into key and strategic offices. Those who have the know-how, let them play the field.
It's quite interesting, based on the fact that you said you've written, previous IGs, previous, leadership authorities in the police. And I love the fact that you start on the note where you reference, police behavior with the people and where people will be confident in them. At least, just right behind, not far in a distant time, we had the issue of NSAS. Yeah. We had the issue of police brutalities, different manifestations.
We're still having it.
Absolutely different manifestations of it. But then we know that some of those people who are nabbed, the police officers, the defaulted police officers, they were dismissed. So how do we work on, now we identify the challenge. What exactly do you think needs to be put in place to ensure that when we see police officers, we know that these are real police officers? We see the way they do abroad. The men in uniform, how they are treated. So what exactly do you think needed to be put on the table?
Okay, I'll take you back. I was in Japan and I got lost in Tokyo. There was no police officer anywhere. I had to look for a station and I was directed there. And I got there. There were policemen, took me in, and I told them my program that where I was going, and they simply put on a screen that showed our location and where I was going. So they just showed me the route to go in less than 60 seconds. We need to move away from the crude checkpoint police mentality. Now in Lagos State, if your car should beat traffic lights, nobody will stop you. They will be waiting for you at the point where you want to renew your papers. Then your fine will be waiting. You either pay or your papers don't get renewed. The police should begin to deploy technology. I don't ever like this checkpoint on the roads. They impede movement. They cause more harm than good. Yes, we have pockets of criminals being apprehended on the road, bodies being found in vehicles, murdered people, right? Guns, drugs, and all of that. But we still can do those things without the attendant schism or the shenanigans that go with it. About 2 weeks ago, we were going to Ibadan with an official vehicle of a university. The policeman insisted that all of us should show the ID card. And I said, my friend here is director of works and engineering, and it's the official car, and it's here. But they were insisting. I simply told them, if you don't mind, let me call the IG. And they look at me. I said, I will call the IG. What you are saying didn't add up. And I said, then okay, you can go. It didn't have to have gotten there. Because I felt threatened. We should be comfortable with policemen. That's why the area of training is important. We can't go away from it.
He has emphasized that.
Yes.
To upskill the police.
It's important. Then they should begin to introduce PR into policing. They must know that they represent power, the president, anywhere they function. So they should be given composite respect, provided they too will deliver equal measure of respect and regard. It's not a case of expecting me to honor you while you are dishonoring me. The language of communication is important. So we say, park. And I don't obey such order. Instead of parking, I will stay where I am. So you will not have to come and meet me. And I'll tell you, why are you barking at me? Have I taken your wife or something? Once when I say that, they smile. Say, okay, we are sorry. Okay, and I will back.
Talking about taking one's wife, it looks like the police force, the majority of them are not exactly sure of what their roles and duties are actually meant to be. You find landlord and tenants having issues. The next thing you call the police. Your girlfriend to one of the police officers, you have issues, you go to the police. So a lot of issues are actually taken to the police station.
I can use a personal experience. Somebody and I had Kwanta, she's a living witness. And she went on reporting me to 3 different police stations, from Isheri to Ketu to Panti. At the end of the day, nothing was found, with me. I had to report to the office of the CP that if they report an issue to a division and it's been attended to, I don't think it makes sense for another division to now take it up. It only shows inducement or something. Otherwise, there's nothing new. They couldn't bring up anything except that I got harassed in Panti and I reported to the office of the CP. He intervened and apologies were rendered. It shouldn't have gotten to that level. So they should remodel the police, whereby it becomes a respected organization. It should be respected because what they are doing is extremely risky on our behalf. At the end of the day, they deserve to be well paid, welfare and all of that should be taken care of. Again, as it is today, I don't know if I can live in any police barrack. Yeah. The maintenance culture over the years has never, ever been sustained. You will see them painting, repairing faulty plumbing lines. Go back in 12 months, back to what it was. So this is a lot of work, okay? But it can start from somewhere. And I'm glad. Start from? Well, it should begin to start from reworking the police mentality. It's important. Just like coming in here now, I had my expectations. So when people are going to be meeting any policeman at all, the ones we meet abroad, they are human beings like us. They were recruited and trained like they too were recruited and trained. I don't fancy the idea of saying my salary is not enough. No, if it's not enough, leave and do something else. Nobody should remain in the system who is not happy to be in the system. Now,
that's an issue that a lot of persons are concerned about. The system itself, its hiring procedure, and the kinds of persons who they hire. And the fact that are these people really doing this job because they are passionate about policing or not? You know that some persons will say that because I didn't get this job, I just had to just navigate to the policing system. So how can they sanitize the system to ensure that it is those who are really passionate about the job that are part of the system?
The political elites bastardized police recruitment. Originally, they will advertise. Interested people will apply. But now, they do allocation. You are a member of the House of Rep. Bring 40. You are a senator.
Really?
I'm not saying what you don't know. They influence, let me be nice enough, they influence who gets recruited. The question is, my friend was a banker. Funke was a banker. She left to join the police of her own volition. And she did excellently well before she passed on. That is what we should be looking for. Those who have the interest, the innate interest that I want to be a law enforcement officer, and then they now get into it. It's like broadcasting. You can't force somebody to become a broadcaster. No. There must be that innate interest. And then the person will develop himself or herself to meet the demands of the profession, be able to abide by the ethics and the dictates, okay, of professionalism. And then it works out well. We need to really clean up the system. A lot of them are not there because they wanted to be there. It was like creating job for the boys. Boys that they used as thugs, and they call them eruku in Yoruba language. I don't know what that means in English. They push them into the police.
Slave of death.
Sorry?
Slave of death.
Oh, well, thank you. So what that does is to corrupt the system. They compromise the system. It shouldn't be. And I'm sure over time, especially in the last 6 months or so, so many policemen have been dismissed.
Right.
For all manner of misdemeanors. Yeah. The current first PRO, we relate very well. And the moment he sees, thank God for social media, the advantage in technology, telecom, anything you do in any corner, once it gets reported, they go after the police officer, whether in Port Harcourt, Lagos, or anywhere. They go after the person, investigate, and once they are found guilty, publicly, they display their dismissal. And of course, they get tried too. The more of that we can begin to see, perhaps it will checkmate the misdemeanors. We cannot continue with the old order. Things have to change. We are not all criminals. So when you're on the road and now say, park, they start searching your bags. I mean, and I told one, you cannot touch my phone. Instead, take my phone and my car to the nearest DPO. I'm available. Even if they find me guilty.
That can be risky.
It can be. No, you are better.
Asking them to take you to...
You are better, my brother, if you know you have nothing to hide.
That's the way it should be done. But then,
for me,
it looks like when you're taken to the... like being taken to the lion's den.
No. Let me tell you the way it goes. I don't drive any vehicle whose the papers are not complete. All the papers, I make sure, including my driver's license, is in my, So if you now stop me, you're trying to make an issue out of nothing. The other day, what was it? Somebody found in my car and was my old iPad. I was going to dash somebody and he said I should produce this. I said, don't worry, you can as well take it. Let me go. Yes, now, you can as well have me.
I gave it to him.
No, he said no. And I said, don't make my life difficult. I have business going somewhere. Take me to the police station. What I was on usual request. And then we got there and we met the DPO. Good enough, the former DPO was my friend. In K2 here, Akman. But he had left. I thought he was there. But the new man too, another fantastic man. He looked at him and he said, is this why you brought this man here? Look at the disused. They can't even come on. And the man said, Oga, please just go. And let me tell you, if you go to the divisions and you meet the DPO, 90 out of 100 cases, you will be freed.
Yeah.
Even if you have a minor infraction, there's a way they could work around it. Man, decapitation should not always be the solution to headache.
Truly, they are usually the opposite of what you see.
Exactly, but people, again, the people too, we have our problems. A lot of us go about with invalid driver's licenses. Some will not renew their papers. Here in Lagos, they will send you autoreg, will send you text message to remind you, Vero, your vehicle papers are getting expired. But Vero is a journalist. She's on television, so she has no time until they now say papers. We should move away.
Well, I'm sure that I do the needful.
No. I'm only harassing you. Forgive me. So we should also
call the
do
police.
We should
call the governor on you if you're not careful.
Please. So we should do the needful.
Let's quickly
get your vehicles registered.
Right.
Renew your papers. Even if you don't have money. Remember, you buy pepper soup, you buy recharge card, all those things. Make it a priority. So if anybody asks you anything, you can easily show them.
Let's quickly change tack by looking at the issue of communal clashes, and inter-ethnic conflict, which has been, ravaging some parts of this country. Recent experiences, the plateau, killings, here and there, and all of that. So, what exactly do you think? What strategies do you think they can implement, especially in terms of promoting dialogue, peace building, and effective conflict resolution within these communities and reduce tensions to ensure lasting security?
One of the lost opportunities in the policing system is the community police.
He said he was going to revive that.
But you see, from day one, I looked at the papers and I said it will not work.
Why?
Crime is localized.
Okay.
The way the people get in Warri is not the way the people get in Lagos.
Okay. I get.
I'm just being very basic now.
Peculiarities.
There are peculiarities, God bless you. So what matters is that in every community, leadership exists. How they emerge may be through royalty, that is having the obas, emirs and all that, or through religion, the bishops, the pastors, or the alhajis, the imams and all of that. And of course, in certain communities, some people, by virtue of their being fairly wealthy and nice to the people, they become leaders. Now, there is no way you want to do community policing and you will not embrace those people. But the people they presented, they were excluded. And they were going to Austria or wherever to go and train for community policing. No. They have crime. The type of crime they have there is not the same. They don't have bandits in those places. They don't kidnap the way we were having it here. So...
Except they have a different name for it.
No, you can't hide it. So you see, these are the areas where they must look into. Community policing makes a lot of sense. That's why in America you have the federal, the state, and then the local government police or whatever they call them. So at every point, at every level, there's policing available to you. And the communities are connected, they are involved. For instance, if anything happens in Ojota, the Baale of Ojota or Oba, whatever it is, must be able to tell the people something. Now, if they can have that buying in, and the community knows that, oh, if anybody is trying to cheat them, they can go and meet their KBC, who will in turn speak with the police. If there is any criminal in the neighborhood, they don't have to go and meet the police. They will tell KBC or tell their chief imam or bishop, who will tell the police. I mean, so we will create...
I mean, policing should begin with us.
Exactly, it should be practical. We will not be able to...
But that would take trust between the people and the police.
That's why I said...
Because there's been aspects where some persons had reported cases to the police and they were reprisals.
They told the criminal that this person came to report you. That's what I'm saying. They need to repurchase people's confidence. There's a deep gulf, a wide gulf between the police and the people. It should not be. The police and we should be partners in this business because you are trying to secure me. I must trust you. I must have confidence in you, your ability and capacity to take care of me. And all of these things border on the same issue of public relations. Do they understand what it is? Because when you go out there, the other day, one was drunk. The video was everywhere. It went viral. He was drunk and was dancing. And when you see such a person, it gives the police a very bad image. And I'm telling you now, Nigeria has a standard police. Only that we need to tinker with a few things. And before you know, there will be a change. But they must be made to realize that we are human beings. We are not animals. And treat us just the way they will treat their own sons, their wives, their brothers, and their fathers, and their mothers. So you don't just come out and say, and treat people anyhow. No, it's not done. So if they are giving their orientation, that's where I talk of reorientation now, we begin to see a difference. Nothing stops from stopping me and say, morning, sir, I hope you are fine. You know, maybe you just greet me, like, let me go.
And not anything for the boy.
No. My daughter was reported sick last week. I came from Abuja to go and withdraw her from the boarding house. At the gate out of the school, security woman saw her lying down on the back seat. Oh God, anything for us. She was lucky that God spoke to me. I wanted to write a petition to the school authorities that she should be sent away. And I said, are you okay? My daughter is here, student and vomiting. See what you're asking me? He just quietly walked away. These things happen everywhere. Yeah. So the orientation is very critical. As I said, I'm still going to send the IG a letter. If you want to see the content, I'll let you know. Call me again. We'll talk about it. But let's give him the chance. I hope he will deliver. Because he's not unaware of how terrible things have been.
Of course. Because right now, there are those who are also saying perhaps this is a good time to introduce state policing.
You know my position on that before. Financial constraints is a big deal with state policing. There was a time a state recruited sportsmen for a national sports festival. They were kitted, they sent them to the festival. By the second, third day, those people didn't get their allowances. Promised, they left. They left the festival. Now, imagine a state calling for applications, recruiting, and kitting, including arming people into state police. And then 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, salaries don't get paid. Some states are owing as much as 18 months salary in this country. So imagine if they are armed policemen being so old, you will have unleashed mayhem into the community. But they will survive.
But the thing is it about...
And don't forget that we still have people in authority who are occupying leadership positions without composite leadership qualities. Imagine that person being the governor. We're here in this country, I will not mention the name. A governor banned his predecessor from entering the state, and the man dared not enter the state until that guy left the state as governor. Imagine if he had the state police. He could have unleashed them I mean, that maturity, political maturity is still also there. Let's not shy away from the reality.
So talking, I think it's misplaced priority. If we ensure that, if we know that state policing or state police is way to go, is the best.
It is, but not all states are economically viable to fund state police. Lagos can take it up. Ogun, with its new economic status, can take it up. Maybe Rivers. And I don't know, because it's demanding. It's financially demanding. You cannot, in security, you don't manage resources. If you have to spend, you spend.
But if we
and that makes it different.
Need security for our economic, livelihood to thrive. We need security for everything to be in good health. So why don't we ensure that we pump the money here so that other sectors can grow?
Are you not getting what I'm saying?
No,
States that cannot pay salaries of their civil servants now take on additional burden of policing. You know what that means?
It will be a huge challenge.
It will be a huge challenge. That's what I'm trying to say. Right. They may need it, but I still can say that the federal police that we have, if rejigged, can change the picture that we are seeing, so they can de-escalate criminal activities. Okay? So that we won't have to go there. And if they have to start, let's have 1 or 2 states starting off as models. So others may have an idea, okay, this is what is costing this state, for instance, to run. I mean, what Lagos has today as LASMA, neighborhood watch, can be collapsed into Lagos State Police Force. Lagos State funds the federal police more than the federal government. I mean, I can
defend it anywhere.
Anywhere, yeah. So Lagos, I keep saying Lagos, Lagos. It's not because I'm here. I'm involved. Let me say because I'm involved. Lagos can, I know. Ogun can. These states that can manage those things, allow them to. But those who can, who are not, I mean, KB, Zamfara, come on.
All right. Let's leave the conversation here now. Olade Inde, public affairs analyst, thank you for your time on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Right.
Thank you.